Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Diaspora Network, where we showcase Nigerians making their country proud around the world. I'm Teniola Oyetayo. Starting afresh in a new country far away from home can be daunting, yet it also presents an array of opportunities to explore uncharted territories. On the program this week, we highlight individuals who have not only dared to venture into unfamiliar entrepreneurial landscapes, but have thrived in doing so. Plus, our guest is someone who knows all about starting over and cultivating a successful business. We speak to British-Nigerian luxury interior designer Tokumbo Arot. But first, let's catch up on the latest news from the diaspora.
Air Peace has announced an increase in capacity for its Lagos to London route in response to surging demands. The development follows March the 30th and its inaugural journey carrying 260 passengers from the Murtala Mohammed International Airport to London's Gatwick Airport. Upon arrival, the Nigerian community in the UK and officials from the Nigerian High Commission warmly welcomed the passengers. An official statement signed by the airline's management and posted on X said more seats are now available to purchase. The move has disrupted market dynamics, prompting international airlines that previously enjoyed exclusivity on the route to reconsider their pricing strategies. The CEO of Air Peace, Alan Onyema, has also revealed that the airline is ready to launch an Abuja to London flight and is planning to begin flights to New York and Houston by the end of the year. Two charities based in the United Kingdom have submitted a report on the reality of insecurity challenges on the Nigerian education sector to the British government. IA Foundation is a UK-based educational charity which was set up to reduce the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria, while PSJ UK is an NGO of diasporans and friends of Nigeria who are committed to peace building and social justice across the country. In the report, the NGOs proposed recommendations aimed at safeguarding schools, restoring a sense of safety, and ensuring that every child in Nigeria has the chance to learn and thrive. Madu, the documentary based on Nigerian ballet dancer turned superstar Anthony Madu, is now streaming on Disney+.
If I close my eyes and imagine myself in the big stage.
I'd like to know, did you have a story?
The coming-of-age film walks us through his upbringing, his transition into a prestigious UK ballet school, and his integration into British culture. Anthony has had a passion in the art of ballet since he was 5. He became a viral sensation in 2020 after a video of him dancing barefoot on the streets of Lagos spread like wildfire. After becoming an overnight sensation, Anthony was enrolled into Elmhurst Ballet School in September 2021. Not only does the film discuss his passion for ballet, but also his battle facing societal hurdles that have often put his life in danger. While thanking the film's production team on social media, the star also says he hopes the documentary would inspire a lot of children to follow their dreams. And finally, Canadian-based playwright Wale Oguntokun has tragically passed away at the age of 56 after battling with prostate cancer. Despite a degree in humanities and a master's in law, Wale had a deep passion for performing arts. He was the artistic director at Theatre Planet Studios in Ontario, Canada, as well as one of Nigeria's prominent Renegade Theatre, which he founded in 2002. In 2021, he won the Young House Award for Dramatic Writing of the Year for his play The Emancipation of Yankee Oluwale, based on the moving story of the Nigerian migrant David Oluwale, who died due to police brutality. Tributes have been pouring in from the theatre arts community in Nigeria and from across the diaspora. Juliana Olayinka with the Diaspora Network News Wrap in London.
Entrepreneurship stands as a cornerstone for driving economic growth and development within nations. Nigeria, in particular, is renowned for its dynamic entrepreneurial culture. With increasing numbers of Nigerians venturing abroad, they bring along this business mindset, establishing successful ventures in foreign territories, all while navigating and adjusting to new cultural landscapes.
Entrepreneurship is no doubt a powerful driver of economic growth and job creation. It creates opportunities, new markets, and nurtures skills and capabilities. In line with globalization, the increase in population of migrants continue to rise, and in turn, increasing the establishment of business startups in diverse sectors around the world. These businesses conducted by diasporans are unique because of their resources characterized by mixed embeddedness in country of origin and country of residence. They possess diversified knowledge based on first-hand exposures and experiences of both countries, enabling them to recognize unique business opportunities. Recognized for their enterprising nature, innovative mind and determination to succeed, many Nigerians are establishing successful ventures in foreign territories while navigating and adjusting to new cultural landscapes. Here are some diaspora Nigerian high flyers in the world of business. Fumi Odeniyi is the founder and creative designer for Michnet Fashion, a business she created to meet the demand for Afro designs mixed with Western flair in Nova Scotia, Canada. Her designs include formal, semi-formal, informal, wedding and casual outfits. She's passionate about bringing color to an industry that can often be bland. Fumi has received multiple accolades, including the Award of Excellence from Black Designers of Canada, Entrepreneur of the Year from the Immigration Services Association of Nova Scotia, and Fashionpreneur of the Year from Canada Vendors. Founder of Iya Foods, Toyin Kolawole, was introduced to entrepreneurship from a very young age. Little wonder a Nigerian-born US resident runs a successful manufacturing food business in Illinois. Iya Food introduces a blend of Africanism into Western delicacies with a focus on making good food with good ingredients. Another influential Nigerian entrepreneur in the diaspora is Andrew Mackenzie. He is the founder and creative director of Jesu Shegun London, an exclusive luxury shoe brand whose pieces have been worn by celebrities like 50 Cent and Michael Blackson. With its blend of bold design and exotic materials, the brand has gained a reputation in the fashion world for unique and incredibly well-made shoes. These and many more Nigerian businesses have distinguished themselves over the years and are flying the country's flag in the world of business.
And as always, we've been following the activities of the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission as they continue to engage citizens living abroad through various programs.
The chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa, is among dignitaries at the maiden edition of the National Spokespersons Summit in Abuja, the nation's capital. The event brings together distinguished leaders and practitioners in public relations to deliberate on the transformative power of effective communication in shaping Nigeria's narrative and fostering national cohesion. The NIDCOM boss seizes the opportunity to highlight the need for rapid response to fake news as the Nigeria media space currently grapples with information overload.
The lie suddenly becomes the truth. What do you as spokespersons do about that? A lot of time, by the time it goes viral, by the time you are responding, it's taking 3 days, 2 days. Nobody bothers anymore. Please, as spokespersons, let us work at having rapid response to tackle fake news and fake information. And I know that with your summit, you will tackle all that.
During another meeting at her office in Abuja with the CEO of the Niger Diaspora magazine, Mr. Ismail Adigbola, Mrs. Dabiri Erewa reiterates the significance of Nigerians in diaspora in Cameroon, spotlighting their contribution to the socio-economic fabric of both nations. Mr. Adigbola also hands over to her the 2023 Woman of the Year Award for her dedication and commitment towards diaspora engagements. Mrs. Debbie Rewa speaks on NIDCOM's plans to improve its engagement with Nigerians in Cameroon and other African countries.
We have to focus more on Nigerians in Africa, particularly as we're talking about intercontinental trade. There must be more trade and engagement and partnership with us on the African continent as brothers and sisters. And I'm proud of what Nigerians in the Cameroon are doing.
Our guest today is British-Nigerian businesswoman Tokumbo Arot. While she once dreamed of becoming a doctor, she discovered her true passion in designing luxury furniture and rooms for children. Her clientele includes celebrities, sports personalities, and royalty.
Your gift is that thing you do so effortlessly that everyone thinks is such a big deal except you. And for me, that was interior design.
Born in Edinburgh, Scotland, Tokumbo Arot spent her formative years in Benin City, southern Nigeria, alongside her parents and two brothers, before enrolling at Command Secondary School, a military boarding school in Kaduna State. At the age of 17, she returned to the UK for her A-levels, with aspirations to follow in her father's footsteps in the medical field.
I spent much of my childhood poring through my father's medical books and looking at skin diseases and pictures of abscesses and the human body cross-section. And I knew, we all knew, that I was going to be a doctor. You could say the story of my life had been written and it was a good one. My name actually tells the story of my life. Toks is short for Tokumbo, which means brought back from over the sea.
However, falling short of the required grades, she studied pharmacology at the University of Hertfordshire. It was during her second year there that she married her partner, discovering her passion for interior design while transforming their new home. Deciding to pivot from her career in pharmaceutical sales, Tokumbo embarked on a journey to become an interior designer, launching her business with a focus on residential properties. Subsequently, she expanded her expertise into retail, establishing her first store in the United States, where she developed an affinity for craftsmanship and luxury furniture. Following the loss of her business during the 2008 financial crisis, while expecting her fourth son, Tokumbo returned to the United Kingdom. Recognizing a gap in the market for luxury baby furniture, she founded a new company, an online shopping destination for expectant parents. 5 years later, she transitioned the venture into a physical store called the Baby Cot Shop on King's Road in Chelsea, London. Tokumbo's exceptional work has garnered attention from major British and international publications such as Vogue and Hello magazine. She's been recognized as a finalist at the prestigious Kensington and Chelsea Business Awards in 2018 and 2019, as well as being shortlisted twice for Retailer of the Year at the Women in Business Awards in 2015 and 2016.
I believe that I can only truly meet a person when I'm being authentic, and they can only get to know me if I'm being authentic. I also believe that we were all placed here on earth for a specific purpose, part of which is helping the people that cross our path. But then if you're not being yourself, no one's going to recognize you.
Passionate about passing on her knowledge to others, Toks also hosts a podcast called Living Inside Out. In July 2020, she was selected as one of 50 business owners by the UK government for their Great Inspirations campaign, which honoured businesses that responded admirably during the COVID-19 pandemic. Coming up on the program, we speak to Tokumbo Arot about living the American dream and starting over following the 2008 recession. Please stay with us. Luxury interior designer Tokumbo Arot, thank you so much for joining us on Diaspora Network.
Thank you for having me.
So what was it like for you, living both in Nigeria and the United Kingdom as a young Nigerian?
Well, I grew up in Nigeria, as you said, and I had the time of my life growing up there. Lived in Benin, which was very spacious, slightly more rural than Lagos. And I just grew up very happy. I had wonderful parents who continued to speak life to my brothers and I. And I grew up a very happy child, not aware of challenges in the world, so to speak. And then I came to the UK when I was 17. And the intention was to go to university and then go back to Nigeria because I wasn't exactly looking for anything here. I didn't feel like there was anything missing. One of the catalysts for me leaving the country was the university closures. And so that put me off. And I also had issues with a lecturer. That's another story. And so I came over here as a Black woman, as a Black girl. I didn't recognize any form of discrimination, but it's not because it wasn't there. It's because I didn't grow up with it. So I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what discrimination looked like because in Nigeria, you grow up as a girl. You don't grow up as a Black girl. So having to come to England and then be defined as Black was new for me. I would say that it was uncomfortable, but because I couldn't quite put my finger on what was uncomfortable about it, I still didn't recognize it for what it was. But it's been an interesting journey. I'm very, very involved in my Nigerian community, my Black community as a whole, and I run a business in an affluent part of London, which is not predominantly Black. So again, that's a very different experience from when I first arrived.
Looking back at your younger years, is this what you thought you would be doing right now? When did interior design come into the picture?
I fell into it. So it's funny because I remember as a child growing up in Benin, I remember on rainy days we would stack wooden stools up. I would stack them up and turn them into little kiosks and stalls. And then I'll take all the tins out from the kitchen and all the bits and bobs and toys and arrange them and force my brothers to shop with me with Monopoly money. But it was just a way to pass time. I had zero desire to go into business. I actually wanted to be a doctor. I would go through my father's medical books as a child, and I was obsessed with the gory pictures of wounds that were oozing with pus and turning green and, the abscesses and all of that. I was really obsessed with it, and he always explained what they were to me. So I had an interest in medicine, and in many ways it was already set in stone that I was going to be a doctor because I wanted to be one. I wanted to be like Daddy. But then I came over to the UK, and the fact that my parents never stopped affirming us and told us how intelligent we were worked against me because I ended up not studying for A-levels and I failed woefully and couldn't get into medical school. And so I then went and I studied pharmacology instead with the intention of switching to medicine, but then got married in my second year and became obsessed with doing up our flats. And that's when the whole interior design thing came into play. I would spend more and more time at home improvement stores and less time in lectures at University of Hertfordshire. And eventually I admitted to myself that I had dropped out. So I went and I did an interior design course and became an interior designer.
You've also had the taste of the American dream as well, haven't you? What was it like for you, losing the American dream and having to start over again?
That came about when my husband came back from work one day and said, why don't we move to the US? And I said, yes, let's go. And so we sold up and we moved over there. And there I got introduced to luxury interiors for babies and children. That was a whole new world for me. And we purchased this beautiful business and life was going well. We were living the American dream. The boys were happy. But then the recession hit in 2008 and we lost everything and then came back to England. It was hard. It was hard because I felt this is not supposed to happen to me. This is the sort of thing that happens to other people. Bearing in mind, I had never had any challenges in life. I'd never faced any real life challenges. So it was new for me and I rejected it. I was like, no, this isn't me. This isn't for me. But then when it came to a point where I couldn't deny the reality that was staring me in the face, the minute I accepted that we had failed, I had lost everything, I actually received a surge of power to start again. And so for a while, I denied and I hid from the reality, even though I was working in the background to get back up. But then I had the privilege of reading an article in a magazine one day where two different stories were told of the same woman. And one was very upbeat and inspirational, and the other one was very down in the dumps, real. And I realized I had only been telling that one story about myself and to others, which was the sad part of me. So I rewrote my story, and that just gave me such a boost of life, and it's changed ever since. So I don't really see failure as failure any longer.
And what led to the focus on luxury baby interior design?
It was because that was all I knew. So having lived in the US and the business I purchased in the US was a luxury baby furniture store, I got introduced to premium wood and craftsmanship that had been in families for generations, and just the very difference between an item made individually and being mass produced. And it made more sense to have items made individually, one, because we're unique beings, but also because of the attention to detail, the art, the craftsmanship that goes into each piece. And I just felt really drawn to it. And that's how I ended up here.
Coming back, this was even before COVID. What other challenges did you face, having a physical store in the UK?
The challenge with the physical store is obviously the capital outlay. It's and also we're in Chelsea. We're on the King's Road. King's Road is an iconic street in London, historically rich and expensive. So the financial challenge was more a case. I think I would say there was it was a walk of faith, believing that the furniture that I sold was so beautiful that when people saw it, they just had to have it, was really what gave me the courage to go for it. So I believed very much in the products that we sell. I still do. I believed in my ability as an interior designer to transform nurseries. And I also knew that it was such an untapped market, because in the United States, it's very normal for children to have rooms and nurseries that are out of this world. In the UK, it's still very understated. It's still very, people relegate the smallest room in the house to the nursery, and there was really not enough knowledge or not enough choice even now of luxury products and beautiful products that also give parents the flexibility to have exactly what they want. So that gave me the courage to get started, and we're still here.
And what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs who are just starting out, especially in the new environment, faced with lots of cultural barriers and stuff?
Yeah, I think the key is actually in the question that you asked, is you've got to learn the language and the culture of the people. That was a lesson I had to learn when someone once asked me, I was with a group of business people, and someone asked me how was business, and I said it's amazing, and it wasn't amazing. And the person asked the other women in the group, and they all said it was rubbish. And so I had to ask, why did you say that it was amazing when it wasn't? And I realized it was my culture, because in my culture, we don't admit to things being bad. Everything's always good. So so my advice to people coming into the UK or leaving Nigeria to go anywhere else, or even leaving Africa to go somewhere else, is learn the language and the culture of the people. Because when the gentleman went on to the next person and she said business wasn't going well, he had a lot of advice to give her. And guess who didn't have any advice? Me, because I said it was okay when it wasn't. So you learn and understand that by embracing and understanding another culture, you're not necessarily letting go of yours, but you're putting yourself at an advantage so you can make use of the resources that are at hand, and that's including people.
Tokumbo Arot, thank you so much for speaking to us on Diaspora Network. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And that's a wrap for this edition of Diaspora Network. Remember, you can catch more amazing stories of Nigerians around the world on our YouTube channel and website, channelstv.com. Until next time, I'm Teniola Oyetayo. Bye for now.